This is Tai Goodwin, Editor-in-Chief of LaunchWhileWorking.com, the official online resource for employedpreneurs. And employedpreneurs are professionals who are launching a business while working a full-time or part-time job. And first, I want to say thank you for this opportunity, thanks to Black Enterprise, Skype, and Sears. And I'm looking forward to getting some answers from my audience, so thank you.
Oh, thank you. I'm really looking forward to talking to you.
Well, here's the first question. You know, in business, we know that lots of doors can be open just because of who you know. But some recent numbers say that African-American males, only 33% of them enroll in a 2 to 4 year college, and even less graduate. So how can Black males make up for the missed opportunities and connections and relationships that happen in college and still make valuable business connections?
Well, you ask a great question. And the main thing I tell all entrepreneurs, especially new ones, is isolation is your enemy. You got to meet people. You have to build relationships with people. The founder of Black Enterprise, Earl Graves Sr., says whoever has the best relationships wins. And it's one of the things, as you know, the Black Enterprise Entrepreneurs Conference is coming up in May. And we urge, and we created the conference to get entrepreneurs and aspiring entrepreneurs to step out of the box, out of the comfort zone of this small circle that they may be accustomed to dealing with, and to meet other like-minded people. And when I say like-minded, entrepreneurs, but in this case, 1,500 and sometimes more people who think like you do, who have the same dreams, the same aspirations, and also give you access to resources like financing, mentorship, and other resources that maybe you didn't get because you didn't go to college. You don't have a college network. But you can create a very robust network of fellow entrepreneurs from around the country by getting out of your comfort zone, going to conferences and events, and meeting and learning from other people.
Well, we definitely know that one of the ways to do that is technology, right? And we follow, people online all the time. Do you have any recommendations for how to find good people online to add to your network?
Well, my philosophy, and I'm going to go from my own personal experience, is be clear about what you're interested in and let people find you. A big part of growing your social media networks in particular, and actually your real life network, is being comfortable about sharing your passions, your experiences, the things that you're committed to doing, your purpose, because what you'll end up doing is making yourself visible to like-minded people, whether entrepreneurial or otherwise. That's certainly the case in social media. The other thing is you show yourself friendly, show yourself willing to collaborate, and you tend to attract people who are like-minded. So I'll just take Twitter, for example. The best advice I ever got when I got on Twitter was don't talk too much. Listen, learn, connect with people, and listen to what they have to say. And what you'll end up happening is you'll be able to naturally join the conversation, and then you'll attract people with similar interests, similar passions, who can help you share information and gain resources that can help you meet your entrepreneurial objectives.
That's great advice. Now, let's take it offline for a minute. More African-American women, we graduate, we get advanced degrees, and eventually we tend to leave corporate America to go into entrepreneurship. But we find the same challenges that we did in corporate America with the networking seeming like a good old boys network. Do you have any specific advice for women who are trying to get into those tightly knit networks that are usually operated by men?
Well, from an entrepreneurial standpoint, I would say two things. You have two routes to go. If you're a former person who worked in corporate America, you have some things that are in your advantage, that are advantages that you have. One is that you're very accustomed to working within proven business systems. If you spent time in corporate America, you know what it means to know there are certain ways that we do things in order to turn a profit. And that's why franchising is always a great opportunity particularly for people who have spent time in corporate America and have already proven themselves as people who can execute within proven systems. As you know, Sears has the Own a Sears Store program, which is really pushing entrepreneurial opportunities, whether it's the home appliance centers or the automotive repair centers. And franchises like that are great for people who already understand what it means to work within a system. And obviously, once you become a franchisor, you're already in a network. There's already a pre-created network of other franchisees for you to learn from, and it's in their vested interest for the whole brand to succeed so you can succeed. Now, that's for the franchising side. For the independent entrepreneurship side, it's very important that you learn to network beyond your comfort zone and in a way that focuses on your similarities, not your differences. That means not always having to only talk to other women, not only having to talk to other black people, but being able to get into an environment to find out that if you're both entrepreneurs or if you're in the same industry or you're pursuing opportunities in the same business, you have certain things in common just like you have certain things that are different. And the people who are most successful in building relationships are good at identifying what the common interests are and not focusing on the differences. And that's whether you're decide to stay in corporate America, decide to run your own business, or in the case of many of your audience, you're doing both.
Exactly.
But you want to get away from just focusing on your differences. People will appreciate your differences, but most successful networkers understand that finding the common elements is the key to building relationships.
You touched on a great point, and when you take a look at history and the people who have really been successful in the entrepreneurial space, that's one thing they have in common is they've been able to step out of their comfort zone. A lot of minorities and not a lot of women, they tend to gravitate towards micro businesses and online ventures and really small businesses. What are some obstacles that keep us from focusing on bigger picture and bigger businesses?
That's an excellent question. It's one that we address regularly with Black Enterprise. The key here is to understand is that to build wealth is a collaborative effort. Any kind of wealth building, whether it's investing, entrepreneurship, succeeding in a corporate job, and usually it's some combination of the three. One of the things that women have in their favor, in my opinion, is that women are naturally collaborative. Don't let that be a weakness. Let that be a strength, and rely on your willingness and your comfort with collaboration to get you out of that comfort zone, to make you want to relate and deal with wider and wider circles of people, whether you're talking about in the real world at conferences like the Black Enterprise Entrepreneurs Conference or in social media. I tell people, I on purpose follow people on Twitter who are not like me. Because if all I do is follow people who are like me, how am I going to grow? How am I going to learn? Doesn't mean I got to agree with everything. So I think women in particular who can get comfortable with, I am a natural collaborator. I am naturally good at connecting with people and seeing what they know and sharing what I know, then it helps you to get out of your comfort zone and not leave your comfort zone, but broaden your comfort zone so you can learn the things that you need to know to really grow real businesses, not just lifestyle business, but scalable businesses with customers, employees, and partners.
That's a great piece of advice. And touching on that, I often think of tech startups as an area that we are typically underrepresented in.
Absolutely.
What are some of the obstacles to women delving into the tech startup as a business idea?
Well, I think that there's a number of obstacles we've been covering it heavily, particularly at Black Enterprise, because we launched a new technology channel at blackenterprise.com. Just came back from a lot of great activity at South by Southwest. And so there's a lot of obstacles, but here's the one that I think is critical. We have to get comfortable with knowing that when you're going into the tech space, probably most of the people you're dealing with aren't going to look like you. Mm-hmm. And that's okay as a starting point. Also, you're going to be new to them. Again, we want to circle back to what's the common ground. I think without having been there myself, just from the feedback I got from friends and colleagues who attended, there were more African Americans at South by Southwest this year who are more visible than any previous year of that event. And you know, South by Southwest is a major confluence of entertainment, technology, and interactive platforms in one space in Austin, Texas. That's because African Americans and women have made up their minds that we're going to be present. And we're going to be present even if we're not totally comfortable or people are not totally comfortable with us initially. What you'll find out is that once you get there, barriers fall, people want to talk and engage, and you really can expand and succeed. So I always tell people, don't talk yourself out of opportunity. Get out there and just see what's happening.
That's fantastic, and that's very encouraging to know that there are more people that look like us that are showing up at those events, that are being visible, and that are jumping out of their comfort zone, or as you say, expanding their comfort zone. That's great news. So we know that collaboration can be a strength for women, but one of the weaknesses or areas where we're deficient sometimes is funding and financing for our businesses. Okay. What are some places where we can take a look at finding funding if our parents and family aren't options? What are some alternative strategies for funding our startup ideas?
Okay, Ty, and Ty, this has to be my last question, or our last question. I think it's very important that while we may start, and we should start with family and friends, we should start with ourselves, we should start with family and friends, or some say family, friends, and fools. And then we think of banks. But I think women entrepreneurs, minority entrepreneurs have to do a better job of looking at the full range of potential financing opportunities. You have to look at business plan competitions where you might be able to compete for financing. You got to look at elevator pitch competitions where you compete for money. We host one every year at the Black Enterprise Entrepreneurs Conference, chance to get $10,000 in capital as well as mentorship for your business. Angel investors, which it's not a natural part of our own kind of community when we think of where we can get money, but there are lots of women angel investor networks, minority angel investor networks, and, of course, general angel investor networks that we should feel comfortable preparing ourselves to pitch for money. We're doing an angel investor networking event at the Black Enterprise Entrepreneurs Conference because we want to get more entrepreneurs to think beyond just me, family, or friends, and getting a loan from a bank. So as we get more sophisticated about the range of financing opportunities available, depending on what stage of business we're at, we'll do a better job of accessing and competing for the capital that we need to grow.
Well, thank you. And I know you said that's our last question. There was one more question that was asked, but I think you answered it. The question was if a new person who just has a business idea, if that's the place to rent, is the conference that's, coming up, is that a good place for them to be? And it sounds like no matter where you are, it's definitely a good place to build connections, to network, and to learn.
It's designed for everybody from aspirants who are getting started all the way to the B100 CEOs of the largest black-owned businesses in the country. The goal is to get every level together in one place to learn and grow their businesses.
Well, fantastic. And I look forward to hanging out with you online some more, and hopefully I'll get to see you at the conference.
I'll be disappointed if I don't see you in Chicago.
Thank you so much, and thanks again to Black Enterprise.
My pleasure.